Hello leaf lovers, my name is Dulce and welcome to Leafy Blooms. Today I decided to tackle my laundry list of plant chores that are extremely overdue. It's not that I haven't had the time, it's just that I have not had the energy to get them done. So I decided today is the day, and it's going to be a little mix of watering, uppotting, repotting, some plant arranging in the house. I definitely want to tackle my plant shelf over here to the right, the big one that you guys saw in the last video. Feel free, if you have any plant chores to do as well, we can get them done together. So yeah, grab your coffee or beverage of choice and let's get started. All right, you guys, so I figured we could get started with a small task. I say this is a small task because I know I have to water, and that may seem like a small task to some, but to me, that is just more stressful for some reason. So, Binks! Do you guys have a cat that knows how to open doors? Because I sure as hell do. Look at him. He's gonna open the door, okay? Just watch. I'm gonna let him. I usually put a bar stool there. There he goes. Yeah, that's my cat. I usually put a bar stool there so he doesn't go downstairs, but I forgot. So as I was saying, I know I have to water, and that might be considered a small task to some, but to me it's not for some reason. It's just I have so many plants, and to me watering is it's a big task. So anyway, I figured I'd start with something small, and that is going to be potting up these Micans cuttings. I'll give you guys a little look. Oh, they're so gorgeous. They're so healthy and pretty. There's only a few cuttings in here, and I realize that. But these are actually the top cuttings that I took from my propagations the last time I trimmed back my Micans. So because they are top cuttings, I didn't want to put them straight into the pot because I didn't want them to rot. Since they had new growth on them and stuff like that, I was like, let me just put them in water and then I'll pot them up separately. So I'm trying to master propagating in soil to kind of cut out that transition period in propagating plants. And so all my other cuttings that I took from the long vines that I took from the Micans, I put them straight into the soil, and I think they're doing well. I think I only had like one propagation die off, but that was about it. So I'm assuming they're doing pretty well. But the top cuttings, I didn't want to risk killing them off, especially since they have new growth. So I figured I would start a second Micans plant with these cuttings, and I can either, try to grow it as bushy as I can and sell it, or I can either add it back into the pot once it's time to repot the bigger one, or I can just have another Micans in my house. So I have my plant cart next to me. If you see me reaching over, that's what that is. I have my soil in here. I have all my utensils that I could possibly use, minus like watering stuff like fertilizer, nat drops. That's all underneath my kitchen sink. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my soil. And yes, don't judge me. I do pot up my plants on my dinner table. I know I used to be so grossed out by that. I hated the fact that I would do that, but I don't have a potting station, okay? And that's just how it's gonna be for now. I do obviously wipe down my table afterwards, but just in case you're wondering. I do also have my potting mat here. I have the smaller one because I'm not going to be doing anything big just yet. I think I have my Mandula pothos that I do want to repot or pot up. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing with her, but anyway, if I do end up doing anything with her, I will get my bigger one. And maybe I'll kind of point the camera downwards a little bit. Okay. I hope you guys can see a little bit better. Okay. So we're going to put these in soil, and I already kind of have my soil mixed up in here. It's the soil I use, oh my gosh, I can't remember the brand. It's like Sunny something. It's from Amazon, and I love it. It already comes with amendments. It comes with some perlite in there, some orchid bark, I think. worm castings, I think. I can't really remember. I did add a little bit more perlite to mine just because I want it a little bit more well draining. And since most of my plants require a chunkier soil mix or just like a really well draining soil mix, I kind of always just add a little bit more to like that little box that box that I have, the little container, just so that it's ready. So I just realized I forgot I don't have a pot for this plant, so I have to go get one, but I'm trying to figure out what size pot I should put her in because her roots are pretty long. So I'll be right back. I'm back. So I've got this little pot. It might look a little big, but I feel like it's fine. These guys, I never really have trouble getting them to, I don't know. I think they'll be fine. Anyway, I don't really know where I was going with that, but basically I know that it's going to be fine in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pot it up. And eventually, if there is still a lot of empty space in the pot, I can just use my dibbler, poke a hole in there, and then put other cuttings in there. But I think it'll be okay for now. We got a new coffee machine, and I mean, I already drank a lot of coffee before, but I just feel like I've been on a coffee kick since we've got it. So, okay. The only thing I don't like about this oil is that it's really dusty. It is very dusty, and like when you first use the soil and you water it, it's very dry. So I feel like you have to water the plant a few times before it starts to soak up the water. Okay, now one thing about me is I hate potting up cuttings, you guys, especially from trailing plants like this. It's so hard. I don't know. Ugh, I probably sound like a baby, but I hate doing this. They just fall. I don't know how to pot them up properly. Like, okay. I have to figure out how I want them to lay. And it's hard potting these types of cuttings up because you have to see where, like which direction the vine is growing. So for example, here's the new growth and it's growing up outward that way. You technically want it to trail out of the pot. So you have to kind of like make sure you place it in there accordingly. Otherwise, it's going to be crisscrossed in there and that bugs the crap out of me. So, Rocky, stop it. Perks of having a cat and a dog. I actually have 2 dogs and a cat. They're constantly fighting. The little dog and the cat are constantly fighting. Leia is usually pretty good. She's the bigger dog. So I have a golden doodle and a French bulldog. The golden doodle is 5 years old. The French bulldog is going to be, oh my God, I think he's going to be 3 this year. He's crazy. They are very high energy dogs, those French bulldogs. I definitely did not know what I was signing myself up for when I got him. I'm not going to lie. But I love him. Okay. I think she looks pretty good. What do you guys think? She does look a little bald-headed, obviously, because she's still very small and whatnot, but as she gets bushier, I think she's going to look so much cuter. I'm going to go ahead and get this watered and set her to the side, and she is ready to go. I do think I'm going to place her in my greenhouse cabinet since she is still a propagation or like a newer plant, and she still has a lot of growing to do, so I think I'm going to keep her in there for the time being, just until she establishes a little bit more roots, and then I'll probably pop her out into my ambient space and just see where I want to place her. Next up, I have my Hoya latifolia. I don't know if this is a snow queen or splash. I don't know what she is. But she looks like that. Has a really long tendril that has 0 leaves on it. Currently has cat and dog hair here because I tried putting some kiki paste on there to see if she would grow some new leaves in or activate some newer leaf growth, but it doesn't seem to have worked for her. I'm kind of bummed out. Honestly, I gotta put her aside while I say this. I'm kind of over her, okay? Um, I don't really know what to do with her. I figured I would give her one last chance. She does have like new growth here, as you can see. It's kind of like purple. That's kind of how you know that it's new growth. Yeah, she hasn't done anything for me. She had an original leaf somewhere. I think I cut off where it was growing from. I cut it off because it was old and it didn't look the best. And then I snipped her and I just decided to root her in water. But now I'm going to move her over to perlite because I think she has a little bit of root growth there. I'm going to be using just a regular little like plastic kind of Dixie cup. I made slits down here. You guys can't see them in camera, but I did make slits down there so that she can drain. Okay. She's all set. Now I'm just going to water her through so that she can stay in the cup. Otherwise, she's going to fall out. Okay, so she is nice and watered. She's ready to go in the greenhouse. I hope she fits in there because she is really, really tall. But if she doesn't, I'm not sure where we're going to put her. We'll have to find a new place for her. Just taking a look at my list here of things I need to do. So I did the micans, we did the latifolia. Okay, I'm just trying to think because I do have my skeleto cutting. So you guys, I ended up cutting my philodendron skeleto that I have on the wall. It's supposed to be trailing like up the wall to go like around my TV. And I ended up cutting her because look at her. I am so sad. Okay, so I have no defense. I know that I completely neglected her and I just underwatered her so bad. I don't think she has, I mean, I think she has dry rot. I was going to say, I don't think she has any rot, but she definitely has some dry rot, probably. And yeah, I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. I was tired of seeing her continue to like yellow her leaves. So I just decided to cut her back. But I couldn't get rid of her. So I do have a cutting over there by my sink. I think I will put it in perlite. I think that might be her best bet. So let me go grab that cutting real quick. Okay, so here she is. Oh, little sad little girl. So she's a pretty decent size cutting, I would say. So I think this is another one where I'm just gonna put her in one of these cups. And I do have to snip some slits on the bottom here so that it can drain. I'm wondering if I should dip her in some rooting powder. Ugh. I do have some in here. Okay, I'm just gonna try it because, I mean, this is why I have it. I am so upset because I have absolutely zero support stakes to use for her. I used to have these like acrylic ones, but I don't know what happened to them. I was trying to look for them the other day actually, and I couldn't find them for the life of me. So, but I just don't want to have to cut her again because then I'm gonna have to let her callus out again. And I know she's already dehydrated because she's been sitting out for a while. Well, she's been in water for 2 days, but she was sitting out for a while before that. So I feel like I'm just gonna cut her. All right, so I'm gonna let her callus over and then eventually I will put her into this little cup here with this one. Okay, next up I have my Hoya Matilde. Now this girl is nice and happy and we don't want to mess with her too much, but she definitely needs an up pot. So the soil level on this one is actually like right about here, and excuse me, She's actually in tree fern fiber and perlite, which dries out really fast. And so what I want to do is add a little bit more substrate to the pot so that she doesn't dry out as fast. She's really, like I said, she's really happy. It doesn't seem to bother her, but it bothers me. I can see roots at the bottom of the pot, but she's not necessarily root bound yet. So that's why I want to keep her in this size. But I do just want to add a little bit more of a layer in there of substrate. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my tree fern fiber and perlite and we can get started. Okay, and I just watered her yesterday, so hopefully this is a lot easier of a time getting her out of the pot, and hopefully she doesn't kind of like go everywhere, or at least hopefully the substrate doesn't do that. Okay. Trying not to, do you guys see her roots? Very happy, but do you see what I mean by like there was not very much substrate in there? I think like I repotted her pretty early on, maybe like a few weeks after I got her, and I put her in here because I wanted to try it out, and all of my Hoyas seemed to like it, so my theory was correct. But yeah, I never went back and added more. All right, so my tree fern fiber, most of it already has perlite in it, but I'm just gonna pick up whatever fell off here and put it in there. Oof, I gotta be so careful. She has a peduncle, and so I'm constantly just afraid of like tearing it out. Perfect. Okay, now I just need to backfill a little bit. I feel like I saw a really tiny little tendril coming out of here. I really hope I didn't bury it. I don't see it. I'm pretty sure I buried it. Ugh. Okay, she'll be fine, I think. But okay, she is all done. What do you guys think? She looks so much better already. I can actually see the soil line. Okay, because I just watered her, I know technically I could probably get away with sprinkling a little bit of water over that new tree fern fiber that I put on her, but I'm just gonna leave her be. I think the new tree fern fiber that I put in there, because it's so dry, it'll soak up some of the water that she already has in there, and then it'll be fine. So I'm just gonna kind of leave her alone and put her back into her pot. I need a little coffee break. Okay, and now I'm gonna be taking you guys with me into my office, which is where I have my greenhouse cabinet. I have to water this entire tray of plants, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm thinking the micans will probably set down there. I feel like I constantly clean this greenhouse and it somehow gets so gross so fast. Let's take these plants. Oh, Bella is falling. Now to water, I'm gonna just use some BTI drops. You're supposed to do 1 drop per gallon, but I bought this bottle recently and it looks nothing like how my old one did. My old one was a much paler color and it wasn't as liquidy as this one is. So I'm a little skeptical about the, I don't know, efficacy, I guess, of that bottle itself. Ever since I stopped using the Nat Drops, I've definitely noticed an increase in them because I was pretty much, we didn't have any gnats in here for a hot minute because I was using those for like, you know, however many months. And then now that I ran out and I never replenished, I'm starting to see way more in the house. This is my Hoya numeroides. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but I love how this Hoya feels. She's so soft. It's like a suede texture. I'm obsessed with her. She came to me in cocoa core chunks, I think. and she just kept drying out in my care. So she ended up getting dry rot, and I ended up just chopping her back and then prepping her in tree fern fiber and perlite, and now she's doing really, really good. So that is also why she has a very shallow pot of tree fern fiber and perlite. Usually that's what I do if I'm trying to root cuttings and it's a lot of them in one pot. I usually will put them in a bigger pot, but then I don't fill the entire pot up with the substrate that I'm popping them in. So guys, I don't really know what I'm doing with this one. I feel like I just have no desire to have her in my care anymore. She was another one that she just kept drying out, but it was mostly because she kept falling from the shelf that I had her in, and I had her on a moss pole, a small one, but my cat kept getting to it and then knocking it over, and so she just ended up drying out so much all the time because I would come home and she'd be like bare root on the floor, and now I'm just kind of like over it. I feel kind of bad. And then I have my little peperomia here. I don't know what type of peperomia this is, but she's so cute. And I love the red stems, the red backs of the leaves. She's so beautiful. I actually propped her from a single leaf cutting, and she's been growing like crazy. I've had her for a year now, I think, since I did that propagation. And it was so cool because a lot of people, when they first start off getting into the plant hobby, I feel like they think that all plants you can do single leaf cutting propagations, but at least that's what I thought, and that is not true. And I learned the hard way. But this peperomias are one of the plants that you can do that with, and I just love that feature. I love that characteristic of a plant when you can prop a plant from single leaf cuttings. That is just the coolest thing to me that you can do that. So, okay, and then I do have this Hoya Bertonier prop. I've been trying to sell this one, but I think because you can get these at Home Depot, no one seems to be really interested. But I feel like it's a really good size. It's much bigger than the ones that you get at Home Depot. So I'm thinking if I can't get rid of her, then I'm gonna end up adding her into the bigger pot that I have of this plant. That might be my best bet. This one is also in tree fern fiber and perlite. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I really love tree fern fiber and perlite for my Hoyas. They seem to love it. I love whatever they love. Look at how beautiful these disco planters look. Okay, so now it's time to tackle this plant shelf. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm just going to kind of wing it and just move some things around as I go. And I think after that, we'll end the video. I am also installing a third light eventually. And by I'm installing, I mean my boyfriend's installing. I've been trying to get this done for months now. I've had it ordered. It's been sitting in my coat closet for so long. And we're going to be putting it up pretty soon. So we're going to kind of have to shift those two lights and move them around and just kind of play with the lighting. My Anthurium Doc Black Michelle is so tall. So I do kind of have to figure out if I want to keep her on this shelf. She's turned that way for a reason, by the way. The biggest leaf is the one right here. I have her turned that way because the new leaf was not getting any light. And so the new leaf is the one that's a little bit more pink over there on that side. So yeah, we're going to have to kind of figure them out. They do have really long cables. So essentially I could just kind of pull the cables downward a bit and it'll bring the pendants up, but then the other plants that are not as tall are going to get less lighting, or they're going to be more far away from the light. So that's my dilemma right now. For now, I think I'm just going to move around some of the plants. Some of these might be coming off the shelf and going into my greenhouse cabinet. I already kind of started doing that this morning. I think I put 2 Hoyas in there. It was my Hoya Polyneura, inner and outer variegated. And then, yeah, and I'm pretty much just going to be moving the smaller plants, the ones that aren't really established. Like my scalprum only has 1 leaf. She might be going into the greenhouse. And then just a few others that I have. What I really want is to kind of create a wall full of trailing plants, because the majority of my plants are trailing. But even if they're not trailing, I just want it to feel really bushy and full. And I feel like with all the little props that I have, or the not so established plants, it doesn't give that vibe. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. So let's do it. Okay, I did want to come and show you guys real quick. I did get a new plant. It's the Dischidia Oeantha variegata. I've been actually wanting this plant since last summer. I was able to get one from my local plant shop. And yeah, I got it last week, I think. and I'm super happy with it. I do think she needs a little bit of a repot or just like fresher soil. She has some roots coming out of the bottom, but not very many. But she is going to be going onto the plant shelf. I did have her on the other smaller plant shelf that I have by my sliding door underneath all the hanging plants, but I think it's too much light for her. It's looking better, but I feel like the top shelf is bothering me. Okay, now I think that once we add the extra light up there, everything is going to look even better because I'll be able to space the top shelf out a little bit more if I need to, or add some plants up there. But yeah, I think for the time being, it looks really great. All right, friends, so that concludes today's video. I really hope you guys liked it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.